Hey there and welcome to this video. EA SPORTS WRC was released just under a year ago, and what I want to do in this video, having completed the game with 100%, I want to sit down and talk about it. Talk about what I like about it, talk about what's good about it, and talk about looking forward to the future where we have the Season Pass and the DLC that has been added on. And what I want to start off with is the stages. Now, one of the things that Codemasters has been great at since the start of the Dirt Rally era is making official stages and using real-world locations to make their content. The Killington games were a lot more inspired by real-world than actual real-world stages, and that led to some discrepancies. Most notably, when they had their Vargarson stage, where College Crescent didn't look anything like it did in the real world. Now, as for how realistic they are, and comparing them to Dirt Rally 2, because there surprisingly is a difference between the Ego-engined Dirt Rally 2.0 and the EA Sports WRC title. I'll link 2 videos looking at that in the description down below for you. It's still, got a lot of official content. There are some cases where the stages aren't official, though. So, for example, Portugal is not roads that were used in the WRC. They are from the same kind of location. But the reason for it is because some of these stages started off their life in the Dirt Rally 3 phase. So this was Codemasters looking at if they could release a third Dirt Rally title before they took over the WRC mantle. So these stages are real world roads, such as in Corsica as well for Rally Mediterraneo. But the difference is that these stages aren't ones that were actually used in the WRC. Now, they are going back through and doing some changes. So in the 2024 DLC, we are going to get, for example, the Umeå and Umeå sprint stages for Sweden, because Vargarson is in the south, it's a Karlstad stuff. Hoffinskog is on the Norwegian border. Neither of them are where the rally is based now. But in later DLCs, we've been told we're going to get FAF, which would be brilliant. I love FAF as a stage, and it's a shame that we don't actually have FAF in the game at the moment. What we do have in the game, though, is an impressive car list. And to be honest, the car list is probably one of my favourite things about EA Sports WRC. Because it takes what Codemasters are able to do with Dirt Rally 2 up to the next level. And it's something that I've maintained since some of the early announcements, is one of the big benefits of Codemasters having been bought out by EA. Because it costs a lot to license cars. It costs a lot to license them because of things such as their sponsorships. But if you're able to get it to work, then it's fantastic. So, for example, the F2 kit car class, where we have only had 2 or 3. We have only the Ibiza and the 306 in Dirt Rally, and then we had the Golf in Dirt Rally 2.0. We've also been able to add in the Astra. We've also been able to add in the Megane and the Ford Escort. It's brilliant to see these cars, and I know for me, growing up with Rally Championship 2000, it's a lot of that kind of nostalgia. But it's great to have them. And there are some new classes as well. The S2000s make their return, and we get the 207, we get the Punto, and we get the Corsa. We don't have the Saturnier yet, but I'm just hoping they are going to add that. And we have the Super 1600 class, which has the Saxo and the C2, as well as other Super 1600 cars that made the era quite noticeable. Again, there are some which I would love for us to have that we don't have yet, but hey, if we can get a Swift and an Ignis, happy days. Another thing that I enjoy is the moments feature. Now, this is something that I've actually been talking about recently when I looked back at Sebastian Loeb Rally Evo, which you can check out in the description section or by following a card. And I like these things because it makes you more connected to the world of rallying. It's something that can appeal to rallying nerds, but it's also something that can appeal to the casual rally fan who's looking to get into the sport a bit more. Now, not all of these are perfect. Whilst they do mimic real-world conditions, the videos don't make the most out of all the licensed footage. The stuff that they have from, say, the past couple of seasons is up to date, and that's fantastic. There are some 20th century ones where they don't have the videos, and instead they rely on some B-roll. Now, part of that's probably going to be because they want to be storage efficient. So if you reuse the same clips of, say, the Citroen Zara, of the Group A class, then that makes it a lot easier. But at the same time, I feel like it would be great if they had taken it a step further and gone, okay, these are the big moments. Let's get a clip from that big moment, because recency bias means that it's quite well attached to the sport that people want to follow. But what it does also mean is that if you are a proper rallying nerd, sometimes you feel like it's not necessarily built for you. The Rally School feature is a lot of fun, and it's great to have a Rally School feature in these games because it helps you learn the basics. There were some glitches with it early on which have been ironed out, and they were ironed out within the first couple of weeks. But I like that we have something like this because, again, this is targeted so that people who like the hardcore simulation stuff could get something out of it. But it's also designed to be a lot more mass market. So it's not designed for everybody to want to jump across from, say, Rally Sim Fans Rich Burns Rally. And likewise, in terms of mods, there's quite a bit that you can do, but not particularly much. Especially since the implementation of the anti-cheat, which I know that I didn't really cover in my 100-hour review. You know, I haven't actually seen much in the way of any extra delay or lag with my game. But I do understand why people have their concerns. And it did make me reticent about doing anything online with a custom livery. I would love for us to be able to just grab the liveries and make our own ones. And to do it easily. It doesn't have to be officially licensed. Instead, of course, a competition only gets this absolutely spot on because you can just find wireframes and templates from people and just make your own livery. And it's quite easy to install them. Or something like what iRacing does with trading paints. But to be concerned that you will get banned, yeah, it's not the most fun. And it does put off a lot of people. What I would say puts off the most people, though, is that there are still performance issues. And I still find this in my recent video where I was looking at the Skoda Motorsport setups. I found that I had a frame drop. Obviously, it was while I was recording. I don't really get any kinds of frame drops when I'm not recording. But I've got a 4080 in my PC. And if I can end up picking up frame drops and lag spikes, I only feel for people who meet the recommended specs, who are trying to run everything on lowest, and they still have that issue. Because optimization is a hard thing to get right. Especially when you're building something very high-end for a PC market. But it's one of those things that, if you can get it right, yeah, it's a thing that can make or break a game. And EA Sports WRC it's not completely broken. But there's a reason why a lot of fans are critical of it. That said, I am probably one of the big defenders of this game. I love it, and even though there have been the issues, I know that a development team like Codemasters is actually going to work on it, and they have been slowly working on it. And the reason why I am so happy to defend them on this is because I've played their games my entire life. And because I was one of the people that pre-ordered Dirt Rally 2.0. So, if people are criticising them for selling the Season Pass content, a lot of people who are doing that bought the Game of the Year edition of Dirt Rally 2.0 that had everything on it for a discounted price. I pre-ordered, and I didn't even get half the content in the game because there were 2 different Season Passes, and you got the first one with a pre-order. So overall, I think I spent about £85-90 on Dirt Rally 2.0. And it came with such little content compared to where it ended up. Not only that, but on top of that, most of the rallies that they added in were just the rallies that were in the original Dirt Rally. Like, they were remastered, yes, and they ran better than in Dirt Rally, and they looked better than in Dirt Rally and Dirt Rally 2.0. But they were just adding back the old stuff. And in some cases, that was happening with the cars too. Like, there were some new cars, but a lot of the stuff was just stuff being re-added. It was even the same in the Rallycross bits, where you got the majority of the new for Dirt Rally 2 content. Some of that stuff was still just bits being re-added. So I will defend this game. And I'm hoping that when we get all of the updates that come out over the course of the remainder of 2024 and early 2025, that we have this world beater game that's going to continue to be on the model that we are right now, where it's an annual update rather than a whole new release. Obviously, I want more. I want like ERC integration, stuff like that, but you can't get everything. But if they build EA Sports WRC as this title that they sell a yearly add-on pack at, say, 10 or 20 quid, which adds more rallies and adds more cars, then you're going to be able to say that you are doing what you were doing before. And say that you are doing the R Factor 2 or iRacing model or ACC model at a more affordable cost. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and I've gone on for far too long about this. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope that I've been able to provide some insight. Because one of the things that I really enjoyed watching recently was Alana Pierce's video talking about the 7 out of 10 rating. Like, we like to hate things now. It's cool to think that things are bad, and we've been in this mindset. We've been in this space for probably about a decade. But in reality, it's still a good game. Yes, to a degree it's unoptimized. Yes, there are issues. But if you were telling me, maybe even 5 years ago, when Dirt Rally 2 was in its early stages, that 5 years from now we would have a fully licensed WRC game that's going to have 20 rallies in it. It's going to have 20 rallies, each of which have 30 kilometers of real-world roads. That we were going to have all of the cars in Dirt Rally 2 and more. I would be so happy with that. Because it's been so long that it was RBR that was the thing that you had to have. Because RBR had such a big fan base, and everybody was modding for it. But with EA Sports WRC, you've actually got a studio and a developer that are doing the up-to-date stuff to the best of their ability for us. Thank you for watching, folks. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.